First story. OP texted her husband's girl best friend, pretending to be her husband, to check if they really were just friends or something else. And it ruined her marriage. My husband has a best friend from college. I never had issues with her until my wedding a month ago, when my maid of honor overheard her snapping at another friend of theirs and saying, she has him when she wants him. When the friend teased her that she lost him, and he was the one who got away. I told my husband about it a few days ago. I didn't want to ruin our honeymoon, but it was still in my head. But he denied anything happened between them. He was very calm when he said it. Almost too calm. Anyway, I have no proof, and I trust him. Until I used his phone when mine died. He was driving, and I was making a playlist on his phone. Then I looked through his iMessages, and he had no thread with her. I mean, I know for a fact that they text. Nothing. I didn't say anything, but last night I literally saw her name pop up amongst the texts. When he went to bed, I looked, and there were no texts. He is deleting them. Now my question is, if I ask, he will deny it. I need to know, and I need proof. Would I be the if I initiated a conversation with her, acting like I'm my husband, and saw what's up? I need proof and peace of mind. Relevant comments. Look at his deleted messages. Oh, is that possible? To retrieve deleted messages, he has an iPhone, yes. Unfortunately, he is logged off from his iPad and MacBook because he doesn't want his devices to share data, pictures, and so on. Do you share the same phone plan? Look at the bill to see how much they call or text. Do they hang a lot? No, we don't even have the same provider. No, they don't usually hang one-on-one. But he visited their hometown about 2 weeks ago, and I couldn't because of work. I have not noticed any red flags. I mean, he works late sometimes or goes out with friends, but I don't think these things are suspicious. But does he have a possibility? Yes. Can you try to talk it out? Already talked it out the first time. What's the point of speaking out if he is going to deny it? Confronting him. I already tried honestly confronting him. It left me wanting. He minimized the problem so much that I felt ashamed while seeing his reaction. But then later, it got me thinking, why did I feel so embarrassed for asking a legitimate question? Or more importantly, why did he make me feel so embarrassed for asking a legitimate question? This exchange. Commenter. How about, hey dude, I know you text this person daily, but there are no text messages from said person on your phone. That's weird and makes me uncomfortable. You know, like an adult? OP. I don't think you understand my post. I want to know if something has happened, not if he stops or takes extra precautions. I have already asked and talked about it, and he calmly denied it. Instead, he started deleting. Commenter. I hate to say it, but you're right. Once you out what you know and how you know it, they will find a better way to hide it. This also goes with addictions and other bad behaviors. OP. The thing is, I don't want him to stop deleting. I want to know why he is deleting. Talking to him won't give me any further insight. If he just deletes haphazardly and innocently, then I wouldn't know. If he deletes because he is hiding something, then he will just get better and find another way. If you go through the phone, are you really ready for what you might find or not find? I want to find out. If something is going on, I will leave without saying anything. I never had any suspicions about my husband until the comment she made and the way he underreacted. If a man had said that he could have me if he wanted to, I would at least be surprised or alarmed. OP on checking deleted texts. Several hours later, someone here told me, and I tried it on my phone. I will wait for him to go to sleep. Mini update in comments. 13 hours later. Hi, this is my update. He is cheating. I went through his deleted messages, but they were empty, so he has been deleting the deleted messages as well. I don't know if there are further steps to find them. I don't know. I sent her WID, because this is how he texts when he is bored. She said she was in bed, and I said I was in bed too, watching Succession. She asked if I was sleeping. Then it didn't take long before she started sexting, in a way that made it obvious that they'd done it multiple times. I ended it quickly because, honestly, I felt nauseous. I didn't want to SXT her. I sent myself all the evidence. Tomorrow, I will be moving back to my parents' place and starting the divorce. I will not tell him why. Relevant comments. I'm glad it's now and not later. Exactly. I count myself lucky. So glad your girlfriend told you. She was very repulsed by her aggressive attitude. He'll probably try to convince you that he's innocent or give you fake explanations. I am saving both time and money by not going into details. Just tell him that I don't want to be married to him anymore. That way, he won't find ways to gaslight me or explain. I know what I know, and the only people I care about will know. I will never speak to him again. Your energy is better spent on the future. And you're right. Yes. I don't want to know more than what I already know. I don't want an explanation. I don't want to know when it started. Was it before we met or after? Before we moved in together or after? Before he said he loved me or after? Before or after we got married? I don't want to know why either. And I don't want to know why he married me then. I don't want to know if he loves her or me. If she is better, if it just happened, or if it has always been the plan, I'm just letting him go. I don't think I could be this strong. Strong or avoidant. I never want to know bad things. Even when exes broke up with me, I preferred it to be a text with no explanation. I get what you mean. It's probably why I hold grudges longer than anyone I know. But I can't change myself. I can't wait for tomorrow to come, so I can runs away and never sees him again. Get checked for STIs. I haven't seen this brought up yet, but thanks. I didn't even think about it yet. Tell your family. Exactly. I will tell my family and friends though, because they don't need to think that I went totally mental getting a divorce after 5 weeks. Are you sure you didn't lead her on in the texts? No, I didn't initiate any of the flirtation because I was very adamant that I didn't want to lead her on. She started talking about wanting to ride him very quickly though, and there's no other interpretation. I just stayed long enough to find out if they had done it before. And yes, they did. I ended the conversation. I hate ambiguity too. That's why I wasn't satisfied with only her comment at my wedding and the fact that he deleted her texts, which, let's face it, is 95% certainty, if not more, to end the marriage. Another mini update in the comments. Next day. Yes. I have told him and I have blocked him. And after the holidays I will contact a lawyer. The rumors spread very fast, and the idiot thinks that his affair partner is the one who told me on purpose, and they are trashing each other on social media. She texted me to say that I was a hoe, that I ruined her reputation, and that he never loved me. I blocked her too. Update. Same day, 2 days from the OG post. I left him. And now I am writing this from the comfort of my mom's bed. We kicked out Dad because I want all the attention now. They have been showering me with food and candy. I left without saying why, just that I wanted a divorce and that I don't love him anymore. I ended the marriage with a text while he was out because he's not worth more than that. When he got home, I was gone. I blocked him because I never want to see or hear from him again. The rumors started spreading pretty fast though, because I told my family and friends the truth. So now he is angry, thinking that his affair partner did it on purpose. So he is bashing her on social media, and she is fighting him back and fighting other friends too. She texted me, saying that I am a hoe who ruined her reputation and friendships, and that he never loved me anyway, and he married me because I am a dumb hoe. I blocked her. I will deactivate all my accounts for a while. After the holidays, I am getting an attorney. I don't want an annulment. I don't think it is possible either. I want half, so no annulment. Relevant comments. I love that he knows without you having to tell him. I really wished he would never know and die wondering, but I can't have it all. It would not have given me mom's bed and candy privileges if I just told them I wanted a divorce after 5 weeks. You probably won't get very much, because a lot is premarital assets. We'll see. Actually, I am not very familiar with the laws here, but we have lived together for a few years. I know the apartment is at least 50-50. A lawyer will probably help me understand the rest. It's not the end of the world if I don't get any, but I will not take what's mine and some more. Not American. What exactly was said in the text conversation? I wrote to her. She replied that she was in bed. I wrote that I was in bed too. She asked, "Is she sleeping?" I replied yes. She said it was early and asked if I had at least given him a BJ. I said not tonight. She said that she would have ridden all over it if she were there. I asked, like last time, a shot in the dark, and she said no. She would have wanted more time than last because she was very horny. I stopped answering and deleted the conversation. On the soon-to-be ex. My suspicion is that he is a C, incapable of love, but also a psychopath who can really make you believe that he loves you. For years. In disbelief. You're the hoe. Yes. She is heartbroken that he is angry with her because of me. She told friends that I didn't even love him enough to divorce him after 5 weeks. And yet he is angry with her instead of me. It sounds like you never even loved him. You are entitled to your beliefs. My belief is that had I not loved my husband, I wouldn't have cared if he cheated. Because I don't care if people I don't love sleep with others or not. Second story. I asked my brother to walk me down the aisle. But now my father, who abandoned me when I was a kid, is upset that I didn't choose him. So I 27F am arranging my wedding with my fiancé. But first, let me give you my life story. When I was little, both of my parents were alcoholics. I lived in a very unsafe and unpleasant home until one night the police were called and CPS took me out of the house. But my wonderful older brother came to my rescue and took full custody of me. He was my protector and caregiver, and he worked his arse off to provide for me and afford therapy for me. I have very precious memories of snuggling him at night when my anxiety was acting up, and he was reading parenting books in his free time. Overall, he was a fantastic parent. I love him very much, and he's a very special person. When I was 14, my parents were allowed to enter my life again. They were very apologetic and made an effort to be part of my life. In their defense, they've been trying and have been genuine. My fiancé and I were talking about who would walk me down the aisle, and I told him I wanted my older brother to walk me down the aisle. I asked my older brother, and he was honored and actually got a little emotional from how touched he was. Then recently, my dad asked me if I wanted him to walk me down the aisle, and I told him my brother was going to do it. He was taken aback and asked why, and then we got into a little bit of a scuffle, and he seemed pretty upset and hurt. I chose my brother. Was I wrong for choosing my brother? Relevant comments. Parents' relationship with brother. My parents have a complicated relationship with my brother. For one, they are thankful I had someone to take care of me, but they also seem jealous that he got to be that person for me. On how her father has been in her life more recently, I'd say he's done a decent job of being a father to a grown-up kid. He has given me financial advice and helped out with college stuff, and admittedly, he has been really helpful with that. However, he wasn't the one who taught me how to ride a bike, embarrassed me by cheering in the front row at my piano recitals, or Loki told me he was proud of me for punching a boy who tried to kiss me in first grade, or as the above post says, snuggled with me when I was having bad nights. Define scuffle. Just an argument. Nothing physical. To a commenter who says she should walk herself down the aisle because it's a misogynistic custom of someone owning you. Oh, shut up. It just seems like you're trying to start something, commenting on something that the post isn't about. That's great you walked alone down the aisle, but I have other plans. To everyone calling OP's father a sperm donor, can we stop with the comments calling him my sperm donor? I get the sentiment, but like, he's my father. It's not a bad word. I don't really care to call him my dad, but my father is completely okay with me since it is true. Moron bro. He put his college career on hold and broke up with his girlfriend at the time to raise me. What happened to girlfriend? Yeah, I know she stayed around in his life as a friend, but they both were at peace about it. Also, he's married and has a son right now, my nephew, so it all worked out. He's genuinely the nicest and most lovely person I've ever known, and he deserves nothing but the best. Glad brother got his happy ending. For years, I felt so horrible that I was allowed to have my 20s be on my own terms and filled with self-discovery, whereas he spent his life raising a child. It's not even like he got a girl pregnant. He just had to clean up after our parents and take on that responsibility. The fact he was able to continue his college career, get a job he loves, and have a family softens the blow. But damn, I can't imagine not having these last few years of my life to myself. There is no consensus bot on AITAH, but the top comments were all NTA. Update. So 2 weeks ago, when I made a post about how my biological dad was very upset and hurt, I asked my older brother to walk me down the aisle instead of him. There's a ton of context in my original post, and I recommend you go back and read it. So last night, he called me and asked if we could talk. I reluctantly said yes, but then he said he wanted me to know he was sorry he reacted that way. He also said he thinks it's completely valid that my brother walk me down the aisle considering it is my wedding, and he understands my relationship with my brother is different than my relationship with him, and he was out of line for questioning that. Then he said if he hoped I could forgive him, and if he was still invited to the wedding, he would feel honored to attend as a guest. I was kind of caught off guard and wasn't expecting that, but I told him I forgave him, and he was still invited to the wedding, and he said that made him happy. We then talked for a little bit about what's been going on in my life, and it was kind of nice since he was clearly putting in an effort. So yeah, there's not much to say aside from the fact that it's good that he realized he was being an arsey hole, and is at least trying to be decent, but it's still good news. Relevant comments. Commenter. Dad was definitely out of line originally, but this new context makes it seem more like it was out of guilt for failing as a parent than of entitlement. OP. Yeah, it seems like he was projecting. Commenter. You mentioned he was an alcoholic. Will there be an open bar at the wedding? OP. Haven't gotten that far yet. Third story. My husband cheated on me and has a whole other family, so I gave him an ultimatum and threatened to expose him. To my surprise, he said she knew and told me a bizarre, twisted story. This is a long and complicated story. I'm sorry if some things are confusing or don't make sense. I am a mess right now, and I am trying to wrap my brain around everything as well. I met my husband, Jake, fake name, about 4 years ago on Tinder. Jake comes from a different country than where I am from, but he was my type, and when we started talking, I was blown away by how charming and sweet he was. This version of Jake never went away. He has always been this amazingly charming and sweet person. He's the type of person who, when you've finished having a conversation with him, makes you feel better about yourself. Just to give you some context, he and I fell in love quickly and got married fast too. He was very eager to start a family, as it gave his citizenship in my country more legitimacy. By our second anniversary, we were married, and I was pregnant with our son. Jake still works in his home country, and so every few months he flies back and stays there with his mother, or so I thought, completes the work required, and then flies back. The rest of the work he can do at home. The last few years with Jake have genuinely been the most amazing years of my life, and this is why the last week feels like such a fever dream. This is hard to explain, but a person on Facebook messaged me last Tuesday, claiming that Jake had been cheating on me and that they had proof. I genuinely didn't believe this person, and at first just ignored them. But then curiosity got the better of me, and I messaged back and asked what proof they had. They proceeded to send me a large collection of photos of Jake with another woman and 2 boys. I know these photos were relatively recent, as he dyed his hair blonde for the Barbie movie at my request, and has kept it like that ever since. The person told me that the woman in the photo was his wife, and the 2 boys were his sons. I obviously didn't want to believe it, so I tried to find ways to prove it was fake. Photoshop, AI, whatever, I don't even know. I think the person blocked me after that, as their account just comes up as Facebook user. Now when I look at the chats. When I got home, I confronted Jake, and he started crying and confessing that everything was true, and that he had a wife and 2 sons, who looked to be about 13 and 9. But I could be wrong, that's just my best guess, in his home country, and that he was still married to the woman. I asked him how he could do this to me, how could he have lied to me for so long. I told him I was going to expose him to the other wife, and he said not to bother because she already knows and supports him. I left, and I have been staying with my mother ever since. This has been the hardest week of my life, and some days I genuinely haven't wanted to get out of bed. Jake has been texting me, saying that he will break things off with the other wife completely if that's what I want, and he texted me, saying he thought I wouldn't mind, which genuinely made me sob into my pillow. I have never felt so low. Part of me, stupidly I know, wants to take him back. The years I had with him were the best I have ever had, but this betrayal is just... I don't even know how to explain the hurt I feel. The update is on Aurora 3727. Update. Sorry, I've had to post this update on a Reddit account. For some reason, Reddit won't let me post it from my original account. I have edited the original post to say there is an update here. Hi guys. First and foremost, I would like to thank you all for all the advice and support everyone has given me since I posted my original post 4 days ago. It's been over a week since I left to go stay with my mother, and this time away from Jake has been so good for me and allowed me to see what was really important to me. Since I originally posted, Jake and I have been talking, and he let me know that he has broken things off with his other wife. Apparently, it wasn't even a legal marriage thing. He explained to me that when he was a child, his parents and his wife's parents arranged for them to be married. This happened when he was 7 years old, BTW. But it wasn't a legal wedding. It was just a ceremonial thing that linked his family with hers. He said that he never actually loved her, but was required to marry her, or that his father had to pay so much to his wife's family as like punishment, I guess. I felt really bad for him. I could tell he didn't want to be with her at all, and was only doing it so his family was okay. The relationship isn't real on either side, which is what he was trying to tell me when he said his wife supports him. They're only married because they're required to be. I'm so relieved now that he's explained everything to me. He told me he wouldn't be contacting her again, but because of this, we will have to send a small amount of money to the wife's family for the foreseeable future, which of course is not ideal. But it is better than the alternative of him going over to be with her every few months. I wish he had just told me the truth from the start. But don't worry, I've signed us up for couples therapy. I know this is likely not the result you guys expected or wanted. So many of you were so bloodthirsty for him without even understanding what he was going through. The thing that kind of concerns me now is what the relationship will be like between my son and his other half-siblings. I think I would like to foster a relationship between them if I can. I'm just glad to be back with Jake. I love him so much. TLDR. The marriage to Jake's other wife wasn't a real marriage. Only something he had to do. Some relevant comments. Commenter. I find this pretty unbelievable. Have you talked with his wife to confirm any of this? OP. Not per se, but I can usually tell when he's lying, and he wasn't this time. Commenter. Except for the whole double life thing, right? Apart from that, you read him like a book. Commenter. Info. Will you be paying into this money that is ostensibly going to the other wife's family? Or will he be paying it solely from his income? OP. I don't have an income at the moment, so it can't come from me. Commenter. Not a real marriage, yet there are half-siblings. OP. He had them before he even knew me. Commenter. Yeah, you would have also been 10 or 11 when the oldest was born. Does that not shout red flag to you? OP. What has that got to do with anything? He wasn't dating me then. OP later edited in this remark before deleting her account. Edit. Okay, I'm out of here. You all are bigoted to other cultures and traditions. You know nothing about me and Jake, and the fact that so many of you have tried to say he is a groomer shows how sick some of your worldviews are. Get yourselves sorted and get your acts together. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.